up, guys? Mike G with MDG Collections on hand. Today, June 10th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a requested video by one of my, I'm not sure if he is subscribed. I know he is one of my viewers, and I'm gonna pull up the comments that him and I had about this topic, just what the title says, how to build your credit in the right way, some tricks that I know how to build your credit, how I did it, and pretty much how you can use this universal tool to get your credit right. The main thing I'm going to go straight into, credit is basically, it's almost like a game. It's a game that you're playing with these people, and the key word to get your credit right to me is just what the word is, credit. So credit card. So a credit card is the easiest way to start improving your credit, to be able to get into the area, to the ball game, to the ballpark of being able to get things you really want. All right, you got to start getting your credit up. You know, 700 and above, 715, 720, 725, 730, up to 750. You know, if you can get into the 8s, even better. But you know, if you can get your credit from 720 up to 750, you can pretty much get anything you really want for the most part. I mean, you know, a 750 score to 800 or 850, you know, people want a perfect score. I mean, that's all great for, you know, bragging rights, but at the end of the day, you're not really getting anything different. I mean, you may get certain things. You may get, I mean, you'll get lower, you know, APRs with certain things. You may get a certain credit card before someone else will. If you have an 800 plus or whatever, and somebody else just has 740, and you know, maybe they want 750. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, credit cards are where it is, and how you use a credit card to get your credit right. You apply for a credit card. I'm telling you right now, the best, easiest credit card to get from, I think anybody can get a credit card from Capital One. All right, if you can't get a Capital One credit card, and I'll show you another option. I'll tell you about another option where you can get your own card, your own way, all right, using your own money, which is called a secure card, all right, and it acts just like a credit card. They bill it the same way, and they report it the same way, but it's your money. The bank will not loan you money up front, all right, like how a credit card is. You have to come up with your own money, and you put it on one of their actual cards, and they give you a logo, MasterCard, Visa, and it's your money on that actual card, and then you use it the same way you would use a credit card. So the trick to improving your credit with a credit card, like how I said, building your credit, keyword credit card. You can do other things. You can open up loans. You can do, but to me, it's like, to start off small, you need to just open up a credit card with a small credit limit. If you don't have credit history, a long credit history, then basically you won't really get a big credit limit. So you don't even have to worry about getting involved in that early on, because you know, sometimes you may just get $300 credit limit. You may just get a $300 credit limit, or you may even just get like a $100 credit limit. So we'll just work with that number. $100, we'll work with that number in this example I'm going to give you guys for video purposes. So you apply for a credit card. Capital One, like I said, usually gives anybody a credit card. So let's just say you apply for a credit card, you get a Capital One credit card, and then you get it in the mail. You apply, you get the card in the mail, you see your credit limit is only $100. Perfect. So now what you do is you want to make sure every single month you don't go over 7% of $100, period. They say, the critics say 30%, BS. 30% is still too high. All right, you could be, you know, once your credit's up there, you know, once you get your credit built, you know, up, and then you can start, you know, playing with the 30% things you have enough leverage and credit history, you got a higher score to whereas if you do get knocked down a couple of points, it's not gonna hurt you that much. But 30% to me is way too high. So you should be going no more than 7%. So I should say, if, like I said, once again, your credit limit is $100. You can only get approved for $100 on a Capital One credit card. So what you do is each month you only use no more than 7% of that $100. So 7% of $100 is $7. So in other words, it sounds crazy, but listen, you can just use $5 of $100. The whole month, you only use five bucks. All right, that's 5%, and you want to let that report. So let's just say if you want to add another 5 onto that, and you want to have $10 as your actual spending amount. 10 bucks out of 100. As you know, right now, 10 bucks is 10% of 100. 10% of $100 is $10. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use $10, and then you're gonna pay off 5 of it. Believe 5 as a number that reports. You want the $5 left to report to the credit bureaus, and this is the difference between your due date and your report date. Your credit card due date is when the bill is due. That's one date. That has nothing to do with your report date. Your report date is something that is different from that. Your report date is when the credit card company or the bank reports your actual percentage that you actually use. Like I'm explaining to you guys, to the 3 credit bureaus: Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So that's the key. That's the key day. You want that day to show the number of what I'm trying to tell you. So the credit bureaus can think, oh, $100. We gave him $100. We gave her $100, and she only used $5 out of 100. Damn. You know what? I think I can trust this chick. I can trust this guy. You know what? Let's see if they do it again. So now the next month comes, you do the same thing again. You use whatever. Let's just say you use $20. Make sure you out of the 20, make sure you pay that 15 off and leave $5 left. All right. You want to leave. Sometimes, like I said, you want to leave a little balance because it shows you can manage money. You don't want to always just pay it off in full and zero, because sometimes when you pay it off in zero, it makes it look like, you know, you can't really manage money. You can't really, you know, they want to see a balance sometimes, but like the balance needs to be below 7%, and that's how it won't hurt you that much. I'm crazy knowledgeable about this credit card thing because this is what I had to do, and I learned about this like you wouldn't believe. Like I'm almost like a low-key undercover credit expert, because that's just pretty much what I did, and that's what I used to get my credit right, and it works, man. I'm telling you. So you want to, like I said, every time you use whatever you use out of that $100, well, the reporting date is, your reporting date is going to be, is usually 5 to 6 days after your due date. All right. Sometimes it's different. You just need to find out when your reporting date is. You can call up over the phone and find out when your report date is. That's when they report to the 3 bureaus what you did for the month. They report every single month to these 3 bureaus. All right, to let them know what your spending was. That's how your credit gets affected, because the bank tells them. They basically telling you that. All right, so you want to make sure every report date you have no more than 7% by that time. So when they report, it looks like you only use 7% when you may have used 25, 30%. You may have used 40%. Who knows? And maybe you got into a bind and you was getting paid right in the middle, and you could have enough time to pay off, all right, that high 30, 25% with some money, your own money, with your money, and you can get that down now. You can get that down to 7%, 6%, 5%. So that's pretty much what you want to do. You want to pretty much keep playing with them over time. Usually over 5 to 6 months, when you pay it on time, they'll increase your credit limit. They'll increase your credit limit to like $200. All right, then your credit limit will be $200. All right, that'll be your credit line, $200. All right, then you do that for about 6 months, and then boom, you're at a year at this point, and then they'll jump you up. Sometimes they'll jump you up to like $300. They'll just jump you up right away. They won't even skip you to like another, you know, $150. They'll just jump you right up. And I've noticed that after you start getting on time with these report dates, making sure your credit limit is below 7% or below. Period. 7% or below is the magic number to really get you up fast. That's to get your credit improved quick, using the 7% rule. All right, 7% is the highest you should go. So it's easy. So like I said, $100 credit limit, 1% of $100 is $1. I'm using the $100 credit limit as an easy number so you guys can figure this out. All right, if you can't figure it out, I should say if you get a bigger credit limit, you just do on your calculator. You go to your calculator and you put this. Let's just say if you get a $300 credit limit. So you get a $300 credit limit. Not sure if you guys can see that. Hopefully you can. I'm not sure with the dimness or whatever if you can see that. Let's just say if you get a $300 credit limit. So now you want to do no more than 7%. So now we're going to do, start it over, 7%. 7% and of is always the times multiplication symbol. And then you want to do 300. There it is, $21. 7% of $300 is 21 bucks. That is it. That's the highest you want to use. If you have $300 credit limit, the most you want to use per month is 21 bucks. So you got all this money and you can only use 20. It sounds crazy. That's how the banks be like, this guy has discipline. This girl has discipline. She has $300 and she only used 21 bucks of it. And basically when you let it report, you can use more than 21. You can use 41. Make sure before the report date, your due date is going to be whatever, the 5th of each month, I should say. And you're going to owe, they're probably going to say you owe 15 bucks of it. I don't know. You could pay the minimum or you could pay it in full. Just basically make sure you do the multiplication, and make sure whatever your amount that whatever your balance is that you've worked up to, make sure before your reporting date you have it down to a 7% number or below. And when they report it, it's gonna look like you only use, they don't even know about the rest of it. They don't even know about it. You skated on their ass. You basically scammed their ass. You just said it's a game. You playing them. You using their money to play them. So basically $300. Now look, so now let's just do this. Now I'm gonna delete that 7, all right, and I'm gonna put a 10. All right, boom. 10% of 300 is 30 bucks, as you guys know. All right, 30 bucks is 10% of 300. All right, now 10% is still a decent number, but I say, and then the critics say, and everybody else says, all right, who's the professionals in this, say 7% is the highest you should go to get your credit to skyrocket fast. All right, in a year you can get your credit to jump up 80, 90 points. So that's huge, man. If you're in the 6s and you getting, that should save you 600. You can get up to 700 in a year. All right, that should save you 625. That puts you at 725 in a year. You can be up to 715, 710 in a heartbeat. All right, that's you're in the ballpark to be able to get stuff you want with that number. All right, so like I said, overall, let's just say, if now for the last one, if you want to just drop, if you have a $300 credit limit and you want to drop your percentage down to 1%, you're only using $3. 1%, you can play around with it. Each month, do different percentages. 1 month do 5, 1 month do 3, 1 month do 4, 1 month do 7. Keep playing around with it, all right? And it's gonna increase and decrease each time, but it's gonna help you out, and you'll see that 7% is the magic number you don't wanna go over. Once you start going over that and you start getting over your max of 30%, getting to the high 40, 50%, you using almost half of your credit, you look like you can't manage money. You look like you living paycheck to paycheck. You look like you living off a credit card. You don't want to look like that. You just use this credit card to pretend like you even got this money. Pretend like it's just something that you just don't even have. All right, and you just use it. Just use it as a tool to get your credit. That's all it is. People get caught up. Oh, I got $300. Let me go buy something. That's when you get caught up. I did it. A lot of people have done this, all right, and I had to learn the hard way. It's not your money right now. You're using this as a tool to be able to increase your credit so you can get the bigger things. If you ain't rich, your credit makes you rich, all right? This is how you get wealthy with credit. You get wealthy things that wealthy people have with your credit being skyrocketed. Also, I'll show you guys this, all right? This is my FICO. All right, so you guys think I'm not BSing you. My FICO, you touch on my FICO, I pay for this per month. It's my FICO scores. It's all 28 scores. Like, you have more than one score. You have scores that's for your actual your beacon score, which is your main your overall score, like an average of all your scores. Your auto loan score. If you're going for a car, they look at certain modules that they have for the auto loans. If you want to get a credit card, they have a bank score, and if you want to get a house, they have a mortgaging score. All right, so I put my PIN number in. I'll show you guys the last number. All right, so here's my credit scores right here. All right, 720, 719, 722. Not sure if you guys can see that. All right, now that's just for that's my actual FICO 8. Now if you go into mortgage, I don't have a house. All right, I rent. So when I get ready to buy a house, I'm ready. 757, 702, 752. All right, that's my mortgage, and that's what they're gonna look at when you buy a house. Then when you want to go auto loans, they have one for auto loans. The second one, I don't know if you can see that. Auto loans is number 2. All right, you touch on auto loans. These are my scores for auto loans. 758, 707. All right, sounds like a Hellcat. 755, swipe over. 713, 724, 738, 737. All right, these are different auto score modules. This is 9. This is basically increasing, because each module has its own different criteria that they look at, that they actually use to come up with a score. They look at different things. Some of these modules are older. Some of them are newer modules. Some of them look at different things, like if you paying on time. Paying on time is huge. That's the main thing you can do, is pay on time, and also your credit limit, your actual the limit that the ratio to debt. Go into credit cards. All right, credit cards, 737, 741, 729. All right, 758, 723, 777. All right, 758. All right, these are my scores. 749, 750, 747. All right, so you guys know I'm not BSing you. All right, I'm a living testament of this. I've done this. I'm telling you, use the 7% rule, and I'm telling you 100%. With $100, go no more than 7% each month for it to report. Wait for the reporting date. Call them up. Hey, what's my reporting date? And use that and write it down. Use that as your day to play these people. All right, you playing them. All right, that's your job. That's my job. So right now, all you're doing right now is every month letting the report to be 7% or lower. And I'm telling you, your credit's gonna skyrocket in a year. It's gonna go up in a heartbeat. And then you'll be able to apply for a loan, like a car loan, and then that's gonna help your credit. It's gonna be a hard inquiry that stays on your credit for 2 years, but it's not that much of it's not a high impact on your credit. And then boom, that's gonna help you get your credit up, because they're gonna say, okay, yeah, your credit goes down like a couple of points when you first take a hard inquiry, and then when you make your first payment or two on time with the car, it goes back up, so you get more points. They double the points almost. So it's like you can't lose. All right. Overall, you just need to make sure you discipline. Overall, you got to make sure you're disciplined. 100%, stay 100% with it. All right, don't stop. You got to make sure you go all the way 100% disciplined. And I'm telling you, I guarantee you, you stay in that 7% rule. Whatever your credit limit is, go to the calculator and just put in 7%, 7, the percent symbol of, which is the times table, the X. Whatever and then put your credit limit next to it. That's the formula, and it's going to give you a number, and that's the number you need to make sure you have that shows on your reporting date. And I'm telling you, you're going to see magic. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap.